Hey everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. Today I'm joined with Brock and Austin.
Hello.
Tara is out this week and next week, and I'm also out next week, so good luck.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We have Mark. Mark's going to be on next week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're going to talk
Good.
about some new things in PDQ Connect.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, so you wait until Tara and I are gone, and then you're like, hey, let's bring Mark, and he can show you some
brings
cool
in
stuff.
But let's
guns.
bring in the heavy guns.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That's fair. But this week we are talking about Patch Tuesday.
Yeah.
We're talking about Package Wednesday. And then Brock, you're going to talk to us about how to handle some of the new cumulative updates. Some of the
Yes.
big ones,
Yeah.
right, in deploy.
Yeah.
And then finally, we brought Austin here. Maybe you found a Cisco Switch in a closet. Maybe you've never touched a Cisco device. We're going to get you into it to, cause some damage.
That's right. We're gonna turn you into a network engineer. You're gonna be addicted to
Yeah.
nicotine and caffeine.
Yeah.
Real fast.
10 minutes. That's all it takes.
That's
10
all it
minutes
takes.
will turn you.
Yep.
All right. So with that, let's get started. Brock, what?
Patch Tuesday.
Our
gonna-
segues
I
were
was-
so good when
I
they were
was
gone.
going to say something. And then the Patch Tuesday from Kelly, my brain is now wiped.
You gotta hit the patch Tuesday. Patch Tuesday. Whoa. Yeah. Like that. There you
Okay.
go. I'll roll
I'm
us
gonna
in.
I'm gonna lose any semblance of
We're gonna have
control, and we're just
competing
gonna go.
intros from Kelly and Austin.
Yep. All right. What happened? What's going
Yeah,
on?
it was Patch Tuesday, and it's been kind of a crazy month between SharePoint and Sonic Wall. There's been a lot of 0 days and exploits and vulnerabilities, people getting hacked. And what's sad is they're also attacking WinRAR. I mean, what did WinRAR ever do to you guys? Right?
What
They
was the
basically
last-
give their stuff away for free.
When was the last time you used WinRAR?
Well, right, yeah, it's been a long
I'm a subscriber.
Are you the 1%?
Okay.
I mean, dude, what a noble company.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't pick on WinRAR, guys. Total exploits 107, 13 critical, only 1 0 day. But yeah, if you normally go and check out the blog, I did something a little different here. I put in a little extra effort.
Uh-huh.
You can see I actually listed everything out here, the actual the different ratings and the remote code execution, elevation of privilege. I listed all this stuff for you guys, so get a little more bang for your buck. Highlights, we have two 9.8s. The first one is CVE 2025 50165. Now, I'm actually just straight up reading this because normally I review this stuff during the pre-show, and I totally didn't because I was too busy talking to you guys. So this one is an RCE impacting Windows graphics components. Now, this is only targeting 2025 and Windows 11 24H2. We needed more reasons to dislike 24H2.
Sure.
Yeah. But this was all just a proof of concept at this point. Not
Got
as
it.
per day.
Isn't this one where people were talking about just seeing opening? It's part of the JPEG components.
Mhm.
So just viewing a JPEG could
Mhm.
cause an exploit.
Yep.
Maybe in an email.
Oh, this would be a 10 out of 10 for sure if it was actually out in the wild and being taken advantage of. Yeah. Yeah, this one would have been bad.
That's actually a really cool exploit. I'm gonna send you a picture. That's it.
Sorry, I looked at a JPEG and now all our
It's that
accounts
picture
are
of
hacked.
Austin.
Yeah.
I didn't mean
Yeah.
to.
It's that picture of Austin.
Yeah.
The ad.
The ad, yeah. Let's bring up the ad.
Let's go back.
One more time. Now that we're not in the pre-show, I was in an ad on Reddit. You've probably seen me, maybe. So don't look at that or you get hacked, according to this CV. So
You may recognize me from such things as Reddit ads.
I gotta up my agent fee, dude. Holy.
Yeah. You need to get more commissions off
Yeah.
these.
Yeah.
Also at a 9.8, we got CVE 2025 53766. This is a heap-based buffer overflow exploit. They're overflowing our buffers. So
I actually don't even know what that means.
I mean, it actually means what it sounds like as they describe it. You're there's a memory allotment, and then you're exceeding that. I don't know, doing all the things and hacking your stuff. So yeah, they could send you a malicious meta file to gain remote code execution and information disclosure. So pretty bad. And then our last one, which was this is a 0 day. This is CVE 2025 53779. And this was a relative path traversal exploit. This one's impacting Windows Kerberos. And this is on server 2025. Basically, this one is bad, but they already needed privileges to certain the attributes down here, the MSDS group, MSA membership, and MSDS managed account preceded by a link.
Okay.
Those attributes, if they had those things, they could eventually get domain admin access.
I mean, it's still not good because you're still elevating privilege.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So
Wow. It's just impressive to me every month that you do this that you're able to read the CVE numbers and like not mess it up. I've been waiting for the time that you mess it up, and it still hasn't happened.
it'll happen. Don't worry.
It's
Impressive. It'll be a week you're not here, and then you're going to miss it. It'll be a
Yeah,
special moment, and you won't be here for
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah,
usually
that was
how it
Patch
goes.
Tuesday. It was pretty good. Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff going on though. It's like between the SharePoints and the Sonic Wall stuff. And Sonic Wall totally says it wasn't a 0-day. They actually say that was an old exploit that people just never patched and people are taking advantage of. So I don't know. Maybe AI is helping the bad guys out because it just seems like the stuff's getting worse out there.
I love that method of blame. You know what? It's your fault that this exists. It's
It's
my
not
fault.
me.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Well, and that's what it was. Is that, like, it came out and everybody was like, "Oh, hey, there's a new 0-day from Sonic Wall." And after like research, Sonic Wall was like, "Actually, this is a 0-day from like a year ago that you guys just never updated."
Oof. Yikes.
Classic.
Alrighty. With that, we're on to Package Wednesday.
That's right, Package Wednesday. Oh, shoot.
Is that it?
How did that get there? My bad.
I'm haunted.
There you go. Let's move on to Package Wednesday. It is a big Package Wednesday if your name is Dell, because we have Dell, we have another Dell, we have a Dell, and more Dell, and we have Greenshot. Now, Josh, can you explain to me what the differences are between all of these Dell updates?
They're named differently.
They're named differently. Base
Nice.
install. Scan for applicable updates and install all applicable updates.
And Adele.
and
Adele.
Yeah, and one of them's a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, for real, what they are. Is they're three different mechanisms to do something. So the base install is the thing you need first. So you install the base install if you have a Dell. And then from that, you have two options. You can either scan, like audit what's available, or you can just send it and install all the updates. So the middle package, the scan for applicable updates, is only if you're curious about what you're going to install. If you just like living life on the edge and you just want to, install everything, you could just do the third one.
I like that.
I was talking to someone on Reddit the other day because they were like super stoked to see these packages on there, and they were asking, they're like, "Oh, well, can I use that information from the audit to build like groups or dynamic collections or whatever?" And I was like, "Well, that information is returned to the output log, and the output log is not one of like the filter sources for groups, unfortunately." But I did say you could probably modify that script to leave something on the target device, and then scan that device with a PowerShell scanner or a files and directory scanner or something like that, and then build the group off that. So another extra step there, but you could potentially actually have like your group memberships be, "Oh, hey, is our Dell command updates available for this device?"
Look at the big brain on Brock.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know how to get
Yeah,
it.
I'm
to
so
work.
glad you're so-
I'm just saying.
We're also happy for you that you're so smart. Okay.
And of course, you have Greenshot, which is one
Greenshot's back.
it's the thing. I haven't seen that in a while.
Can we
It
get
went
like
away.
a confetti
It's back.
cannon or something?
Something like that. But that brings me to this point. If you've not spent any time in the package library recently, go through there. There are, I think we're over 200 some odd packages in the package library. There may be some, and I know there's some very cool things in there that you may not be aware of. And so, yeah, it's worth a browse, on your lunch hour, browse through the package library and you go, "Oh, there's a Dell." So there you go.
And there is like a package library roadmap basically that I saw Mark Rude had linked out somewhere. I can't even tell you the name of the link right now, but you can actually see like, hey, these packages are requested a lot, but there's reasons why we don't have them. A lot of times it's like there's authentication required. Maybe there's a EULA issue. But then there's like, hey, these ones we're currently looking into. That's a pretty big list of new packages they're looking into adding. And then there's other ones just like being uploaded and stuff. So you can like go and actually see like basically what's on the radar for our package team. It's really cool.
Yep.
Speaking of packages.
Yeah.
There's some big packages that are in
Big packages.
deploy.
There are.
And
I blame Microsoft.
I
for their
would
big
blame
package.
Microsoft as well. So if you are using deploy and you're using some of these big packages, there's some workarounds that you've got to do, right?
Yes. And this happened like, I want to say June. This all, again, another reason to just dislike 24H2, right? We just keep coming back to that. But they released an update, one of their CUs, and it came back much bigger than any of the CUs in the past, right?
Like
3 gigs.
Huge.
Yeah, which is, massive for a CU. So we ran into an issue, and I don't even know the details to go into, but this was basically like a limitation of how we ran our automations, right, to pull in these updates and everything like that. And we ran into an issue because of the new size of the package. So we're working on a solution here, and I know it's been already a few months, and we're still working on it. Like I said, this was a larger impact than we originally had guessed. So in the meantime, basically, there's a manual step that people are having to do to get these CUs for Windows 11 24H2 and Windows Server 2025 pushed out. So, and we're going to show that off real quick because it keeps coming up in like Reddit, Discord, and stuff. There's almost every month there's a new user. It's like, hey, what's going on with these updates? Yeah. So if we come in here, we got PDQ deploy, and if we actually open up, this is the package right here, the cumulative update. If we go in here under properties, details, this was interesting because it just kind of highlighted that not a lot of people read this stuff. They just expect it to work, and why wouldn't they? I mean, it's worked for years. Yeah. I mean, this stuff is like super reliable. So, but you'll see in here in the details, important, this package requires you to manually update it. And it basically goes through everything you have to do. And it's only, like I said, it's only like one step.
Yep.
You come in here, you actually manually download the file, you rename it, you copy it into the repository, and then your package is good to go. Yep. So we're going to show that off real quick.
So I downloaded it for you already this morning.
I mean, Jacqueline, I see what you see in this guy.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. So we got our downloads. So this is the file we downloaded.
Yep.
The first thing we actually want to do, though, so this is a placeholder file in our repository, right? So if we go up here, there's our PDQ deploy repository. So see if I can click the right speed. Copy that
file name, right?
Yep.
Because that's what is getting referenced by deploy is that file name. So we got to replace it with the exact same file name.
Yeah. So we are copying that file name. We're pasting it onto this file, and then we're just going to drag it over here and overwrite this one.
That's it.
And literally your package, it should be good to go now. So you would have had to do this ever since July. So every single month, you basically have to go manually download that file, rename it, copy it into the repository, and then your package is good to go. Your automations should still work and everything like that. Like I said, we are still working on this process, and it sounds like we still have a little bit longer to go. But thank you all for your patience. Thank you for bearing with us on this one as we try to get this resolved.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brock.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brock.
Thanks,
Alrighty.
Brock.
Got it, Austin.
Now for the reason we brought this guy down, right?
My turn. Austin. Hey guys, it's me, Austin. I'm the network engineer here at PDQ. What does that mean? That means I'm depressed. No, I'm just kidding. So what we're gonna do?
Here's your mouse. Here's your mouse. All right. Here's what we're gonna do.
He's working on
oftentimes, people are really intimidated by fully managed Cisco.
They go like this.
Yeah. It's like, oh, there's no web GUI. There's not, I can't click buttons, and I actually have no idea how to connect to this thing. You find a 2960 that's been sat in the rack for the last 10 years, and it's still kicking along. But maybe you need to make a change.
Maybe you need to make a change. Maybe you just pull one out of the closet. Your boss says, we need more ports on this, in this area ASAP. I've never experienced that in my life.
Well, I mean, it ties into like what you were saying last week or the week before when you were talking about like, hey, if you want to get like a home lab set up like for cheap, maybe you just got a Cisco switch.
Yeah.
Great
You can learn everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to walk you through from the very beginning. Here's what we're going to assume. We're going to assume that you've plugged it in and it's powered on.
Correct.
We're also going to assume that you found the console port.
You did. It's probably in the back.
And it's blue.
Yep.
Not yellow. It's blue.
Yeah,
Almost
yellow.
Always.
Just blue. Just plug it into the blue one.
And we're going to assume that you've got the console port plugged into serial on your computer.
Exactly.
All
So
right.
we're assuming that you have a USB to serial adapter powered on, plugged into the console port.
Yep. and we're going to take you from that point forward. So
We're going to take you
A
on
lot
a
of
journey.
assumptions here.
it's a few, but I think we can handle it. So we got to figure out, first thing is what COM port?
That's right. So the way a lot of these applications work is that you have to find which COM port that your computer has associated to that USB to serial adapter, right? So in Windows, you go to Device Manager. Holy cow, it's COM4. I can tell because I know the name of my USB to serial adapter, but it might be named something else.
Yep.
Now, I'm lazy, so I chose not, I agree to whatever this is saying.
So you like to use Secure CRT.
I like to use Secure CRT because I don't have to manually type it. If you've ever used PuTTY to do this, it'll say COM1, COM whatever, and you have to manually type it. It saves me about 2 seconds, and I need those 2 seconds.
So now we got to connect to it. So we need a data rate or a baud rate.
Yep. So standard is typically 9600 on baud. Your data bits are 8, parity none, stop bits 1, and flow control X on, X off. X on, X off. You guys get it. Karate Kid. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and press connect. Where the heck is my switch? I'm just kidding. It's right there.
Okay.
So this is what a switch looks like when it starts up. Now, there's technically some pre-startup dialog because there's zero-touch provisioning, but you skip it'll say, hey, do you want to skip the startup config process? And you say, yes, I do. And then it'll hand you this, right? So what we're looking at right now is a bare-bone switch. Baby switch. Baby switch. There's nothing on it. Right? So Cisco has this concept of privilege, right? Like in the CLI itself. So right now we're in what's called user privilege, and you can tell by the caret, right, Josh? Caret.
Yep.
And
Pointy dude.
what does that mean? So you are locked into what I would consider commands that only allow you to observe the device, monitor. You can't affect change, I suppose, in this state. So, like for example, the way
Is this
that
the lowest privilege?
this is the lowest privilege, lowest privilege, something, whatever that concept's called. You guys know what I'm talking about. So if I type show run, that's not a thing. So but what's interesting here is that I'm not like spelling out my commands, right? Like Cisco has this concept of allowing you to use shorthand on well-known configurations, right? So I don't know how to type. S doesn't mean anything. Question mark allows you to see, okay, so what from this point forward can I do? So from root, look at all these commands we can do. Wow,
Question mark your way all the way through it.
Yep. So question mark is probably going to be your best friend. Tab allows you. So SH is show. Run isn't a thing because show, there's tiered, these commands are tiered, I would guess, right? So show now has commands after it, so on and so forth, right?
Yep.
And
So what if I actually want to start doing more? How do I go to the next privilege state?
you have to elevate yourself. You must transcend life itself by typing enable and then pressing enter. That gets you into a privileged state, right?
But it's privileged, but it didn't ask me for a password.
Oh no, it didn't. So if you want to do that, now we'll get into that in just a moment. But enable here is a more privileged state, which allows us to view not like I guess you could consider it sensitive information and run commands that could cause interruptions on the device, if that makes sense. You're in a more privileged state, but you're not affecting configuration change, right?
Okay.
So
I can do like a software update, or I can view things.
correct, right. So you could look at the running config. Oh, look, there's so many. There's so many stuff here. So a lot of switches by default, I exited that running config, but a lot of switches come with default configurations. These crypto chains that it generates on startup, you've got switch or interfaces, sometimes VLANs from pre-existing configurations because VLANs aren't wiped on whenever you wipe the configuration of a switch, right? So how do we configure a switch? Because we can't do anything here. I can't go to an interface like F5011. That's not a thing, right? We have to actually go into what's called the configuration terminal. Config T, baby. Config T.
So now this is our next level.
Right. So now we've transcended once again into a higher state of being. We can actually affect change, right?
So you went from caret to hashtag to config hashtag.
Right.
Yeah.
And within config, there's you have tiered states. So if we want to see how I'm shorthanding interface FI 5 gigabit Ethernet 101. So now we're in config interface, right? So there's this concept of tiered commands, tiered configurations, so on and so forth, right?
Got it.
So to Josh's point earlier, if you want to secure your elevation state from user to privilege, it's called an enable password, right? So what we want to do is say enable password. Don't look, it's not password. It's been typed with the 0 password. Now, I don't think when we were dry running this, so if I show run, for shorthand, show running config.
Yep.
I'm piping. If you're familiar with piping, it's in Cisco land, I guess, it allows you to redirect that command into something else. So in this case, I like to do a grep similar thing like include and enable, because if you do show run, you get the whole output. It's kind of annoying, right?
Yep.
So we are, as you can see, the enable password has been encrypted, because if we, again, show running config include, we have a service enabled called password encryption that does that, right? But by default, that is not here. By default, if you don't have your passwords encrypted on a switch, the reason that it is encrypted right now, the reason it's encrypted, quote unquote, hashed, when we're looking at it right now, is because beforehand we came in and did password encryption.
So what if I want to turn something off in iOS? Like, so you show me how to create a password, you show me how to do all these things. How do I make it not that?
If you don't want to, if you hate something that you just did, you can say no, and then the thing that you don't like, no enable password, bam. And if we exit, come back, enable, we don't get prompted for a password, right? So, I mean, this is how you get dangerous, right? If you see that pound, you probably have the ability to config T, and you could probably start doing whatever you want. Like,
so there's some common gotchas for people that are in Cisco, or just common, like routinely doing to make this a livable experience, right?
Right.
One of them is by default lines out to the console, right? Like error logging to the console is on.
Correct.
And
so,
it's loud.
So here's a couple things we're doing right now. So unfortunately, by default, Cisco, if we didn't run this command, so the way that Cisco works is there are default commands. So if you say show running config all, here's everything default and not default that is configured on this device. It is a long list of stuff, but one of the big ones is that logging is allowed at the console. And what's super annoying is when you're here working on something and the switch, like maybe you have interfaces coming up and down. Every time I exit configuration mode, it logs something. It can be super annoying to deal with that. So what I like to do, and to give an example here, we'll just turn it back on. Logging console, so we can be a little uncomfortable, right? So this is pretty annoying, right? Like eventually you're like, I don't know. To me, it kind of drives me crazy. It's very common for people to go into configuration mode and immediately just say no logging console. The other reason is like when this switch is active and you plug it in, like you plug into console, if you haven't disabled logging to the console, you're going to see everything that's happening. It's
port
just
status up, PoE, providing power. It'll log every single one of those things.
Correct. Yeah. And if you like log into the console, so let's say, let's re-enable it once more. So the way it works is you enable things by stating them, logging console. You disable them by saying no logging console, right? Yep. Pretty simple. So if we re-enable logging console, another interesting thing that we've done, and just to make things a little easy to see, is within, actually, we're going to do section. So piping, if you have a Cisco switch, try using these piping commands to output things that you would prefer to see. I don't want to see the whole running config.
Yeah.
it makes a life a lot easier if you understand the concept of that pipe. That way you can try to find what we're looking for. So what we're looking for is line con, right? Because I just want to see what section does is take anything underneath what you've stated, I guess. So in this example, anything with that matches line con, we're going to take that line and any deeper configurations, like any nested configurations, and output that for you. Or any nested information. In this case, it's configurations, but you can run any show command against pipe, right?
Yep.
So something I've done here is on line console 0, which is what we're connected to with our console cable, I've said logging synchronous. So what happens if I turn that off? Line con, oh, I can't type. I'm under pressure. No logging, right? No logging synchronous because we want to disable something. If we exit, now we get inline console. So now see how I'm typing here at the end? That's super annoying. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So if you want logging to the console, at least go to line console 0. I'm pretty sure, I can guarantee there's only one. It's just line console 0. And you can, you type logging synchronous, hit enter, line con 0. And like we're stating, logging synchronous, logging to the console, those are, logging synchronous is not default. So it will do inline logging like that. And then logging to the console is on by default. So you probably want to disable those. I'm not a big fan of it if I'm in, for comfort reasons. Yep. So we just say logging synchronous at least, right?
Yep. Because then it's not going to be, it's going to dump you out and you can still keep typing. So a question that's come up in the chat is like, okay, you're making all these quality of life changes. Are they persistent after log off or reboot?
So everything you do is not persistent. There's this concept that Cisco has of volatile and non-volatile RAM. Every configuration change I just made here is living in RAM. If I power this device off, it would go back to what is stored in non-volatile RAM by default. You can, there's some, any true Cisco people know you can kind of change that. But the point is there's this concept of a show running config, which is in volatile RAM or just RAM.
So this is everything that we've just changed.
Correct. Yep. And then you've got show start. Can you show startup config? The startup config is not present. Why is that?
It's a brand new switch. We haven't copied anything there.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, we need to write our running config to startup config so that it does persist.
Correct. And what's one popular way that's always been around for Cisco?
WR.
WR. What does that do? Write to what? Oh, you can write to all these things. And what they want, what WR is shorthand for is write, and what it's always defaulted to is memory. And it writes to non-volatile memory, right?
Yep.
Another one that you'll see, they kind of stop with the write memory. I think they're trying to move away from this.
Yeah.
So a common one you'll see in their documentation is write running config to startup config.
Yeah. You'll hear people say this as just like copy run star.
Yep. Copy run start. Like write memory isn't a thing in NXOS, right? Like they're just trying to move away from it. It seems like, but write also does it. Write mem also does it. And now show startup config. There it is.
They match. Okay, I think there's one thing left that is going to be default on every Cisco device when you type something that is not a command.
Oh, yeah. So super annoying, super quick, super annoying thing, right? IP domain, I have to reset this to what it would be default. By default, Cisco switches, when you type something you didn't mean to, it attempts to do a domain lookup. It's trying to connect to whatever you just typed.
Yeah, so it's trying to connect to sad, fast.
I'm slapping enter right now.
Every fat finger, you're sitting here waiting for like a lookup, a connection. And it's really frustrating. So between this and logging to console, like if you mess something up, you just might as well go get a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Exactly. So those three things: deal with console logging if you want to do it synchronously or just disable it.
Yep.
And then please just help yourself. No IP domain lookup. Bam. And now when I
and Shelby, no, Control C does not stop it.
You Control Shift 6X might still work. It's been you'll have to. It's this stupid.
You got enough fingers.
You got enough fingers. Oh yeah, it's really annoying. But
How drastically different is this from like other manufacturers? Like
Cisco
focus off,
pretty much wrote the book. Juniper does it a little differently, but they all follow this command hierarchy structure. The where they get different sometimes is where like how writing configurations work. Like the second I put in a configuration, it applies. Whereas Juniper, Palo, you have to commit it. Like let's say
It's the opposite.
Right. You have your like it's looking at startup and only running off that concept for lack of a better like flow structure here. It was like if it only works off startup and you had to move running to startup in order for your configurations to work, like to start happening.
And arguably they're all the same. Like when you're clicking around the GUI, you're just building this. In any network vendor, you're just building this.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's you can usually be a whole lot faster if you're comfortable in the CLI.
And now you can dangerously affect change on your network. So have fun.
Yeah, now you don't have to pick it in there and break stuff.
Be safe.
Just remember, it's the blue one.
It's the blue one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then get to the pound sign.
Yeah.
And config T and just go nuts.
Go crazy. You know what? Type reload while you're there and press enter.
Do it. You should do that right now. All right. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Hope you learned something. For PDQ, I'm Josh.
I'm Brock.
And I'm Austin.
And I'm out of here. No, hey, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have additional questions, you know what? Put them in our chat. We love that. Go over to our Discord. That's where the fun really happens. Have a fantastic weekend. We will see you back here next time.